Hey guys, welcome back to or welcome to a Black Dad's Take Unapologetic, where we talk about a varying amount of topics, including mental health, including business, finance, you name it. We talk about it. Everything that has to do with men, especially black men. Try to take the holistic approach to the topics we cover here. So today's topic is going to be 5 career communication tips for men. Number one, I want to talk about confidence. See, confidence can carry you a long way. We hear that all the time throughout life that if you're confident, do this, confident, do that. If you slouch, people don't pay attention to you. If you stand up straight, they tend to believe what you're saying and you tend to hold a higher esteem in their mind. Confidence is not just about how you present, how you look, and how being boisterous and not just boisterous, but arrogant. I'm talking about just holding yourself like you know what you're talking about, and most of the time, that can carry you a long way. Just holding yourself up proper, don't slouch. That can help you in a varying way when it comes to just communicating with somebody, especially an employer or somebody who you're trying to do business with. That leads me to number two, eye contact slash face focus. Some people have a hard time looking somebody directly in the eyes. They look off to the side. They just shift around. Don't know exactly how to position their eyes in order to look like they're not intimidating or they're not threatening or whatever the case is, or just don't know where to hold their eyes at. My recommendation is basically if you can't look at somebody's eyes, which is always something you want to try to aspire to, forehead, nose, um, try to look at somewhere in this general vicinity. So because if you don't look at somebody here, they tend to lose them, or they think you're looking at some dirt on it, something else, or you're not interested in the conversations you're having with somebody. So communication leads with your face, and especially your eyes, because if you lose that, you lose them. Next thing I want to talk about is in communicating with somebody. Number three, it's going to be code switching. Um, for a lot of men who are not what you call it, who are not black or of another variety, if you want to talk, if you know what I mean, um, you don't know what code switching is. So I'm gonna break it down for you. And code switching can range. It's basically acting like you're supposed to be where you are, and making sure you leave your private version of yourself home and bring your business person out. There's varying degrees, there's varying levels to this. Most of the time, but what we mean by this is just just the language you use, the way you present yourself, the additives you use, which we're going to talk about it later on. Um, those are the things that you have to be cognizant of when you're communicating with anybody, because at the end of the day, if you don't sound the part, you don't get the part. If you don't sound like you are supposed to be in that room, they don't want you in those rooms, in those spaces. So vocal fillers is where we're going to go next, number four. And that kind of goes with code switching a little bit, but I'm going to go on to number four, vocal fillers. Avoid them. AOs, yeah, uh-huhs, like stammering. Try to be intentional in your thoughts so that you can be intentional in your words. If you're not sure what to say, just hold on. Let me think about this for a minute. Let me get my exact thoughts so I can present it to you in a way that I want to articulate it. So those type of words, those type of thought functions, sometimes you do need a moment, and a moment to you doesn't seem as may seem longer than a moment to somebody else. Sometimes people look to fill up the space and they start using fillers as the way to fill up the space. I've been guilty of this because in my past I've had a speech impediment. So I tend to speak quicker based on what or who I'm talking to or talking about. So it depends on your individual need, and you know your needs based on anybody else, based on anything else um, that you've experienced, based on the topics you experienced, based on the life that you lived. But try to avoid those as much as possible. I know I use a couple here. I didn't say avoid. I didn't say eliminate because sometimes those things are just hard to eliminate. Um, Number 5 and last, research and know your audience, or know who you're talking to, or know your target. This is a very, very, very important thing in regards to communication when it comes to careers and everything regarding your personal growth. Because if you don't know what you're talking about, who you're talking about, the thing that you're talking about, um, it tends to lead you down a road in which people don't want to communicate with you about that said topic because you don't know what you're talking about. When it comes to a job you want to apply for, research a job. They have a website. Most all companies have websites or somebody managing those websites. Know your audience. You gotta go in there with some knowledge, whether it be for an interview, with some knowledge of a person. Hey, I remember you said you like X, Y, and Z thing. How's that going? How's that going? Are you still into that? Even if you're not interested in that particular topic, if that person shared that with you in the past, that means it's something that they may be interested in, or they may be going through, or they may be experiencing, that you may key in on similarities that you can then further conversation with, further the interview with, and further the um, target goal of that conversation. And it comes down to just knowing your stuff. Research, 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 and know your target. Uh, if you're not really sure how to do these things or need some a little bit of guidance, I'm gonna have a link down below. Just talking about uh, ways to that you can get in contact with me, set up a meeting with me, something like that, and I can kind of guide you based on talking with you, communicating with you. So that pretty much concludes it. Just learn these 5 things. You'll have it down packed. These are just the basics, but they still get through a lot of the communication things that you need to know. So like, comment, subscribe, do the thing, and be sure to watch this video. It's going to be somewhere around here of adulting goals. Just check it out. Stay unapologetically you.